Hey everybody, Eric Chessen, founder of Autism Fitness, leading the movement for movement, and I'm excited to again introduce another one of our not only Autism Fitness certified pros, but certified expert pros in this edition of Autism Fitness Pro interviews. We have Coach Shruti Singh, who comes from, it's a powerful trifecta of being a parent, an RBT, and an Autism Fitness certified pro as well. So I wanted to start out, from your background and drawing from not only the different education and disciplines that you have in certainly your experience as a parent, how going into the history a little bit and then bringing it into what you're doing today, from the start of your journey to figuring out that fitness needed to be a component in the life of certainly your son Ron, and then something that you wanted to take on as a professional as well. I think that's a good place to start because there's certainly a lot there.
Thank you for having me, Eric, first of all. Yeah, so Ron was diagnosed like when he was 4, and it's been 11 years.
Mhm.
And when he was diagnosed, after the diagnosis, there was nothing much. So everything was my research. So just researching how to help him, how to support him, and all that. I came through a lot of things, and I kind of just head on go over it. Uh,
Mhm.
and I did not have I will say, community kind of thing. So I
Sure.
wanted to build that.
Mhm.
With that, first of all, the nonprofit came from. So
Mhm.
I had a nonprofit. It's called the Special Connections.
Mhm.
We organize events, we do workshops, we do support group for parents, and just kind of like hangout place.
Mhm.
So our kids know each other, they kind of play together. Even if they are not playing, they're just sitting together. They know each other, so that's a comfort space for them. And us parents also like to talk about what other parents know. So, like our journey, sometimes when we are sitting with typical parents, kids, they don't understand what we are going through. They can sympathize, they can show empathy, but they don't understand the situation. So, creating that space and through that, I came to know about Autism Fitness, and I was following you for quite a long time, like 4 or 5 years, getting all the
Oh
emails.
wow, I didn't even know that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So I just talked to my husband one day and he said, "Oh, why didn't you tell me earlier?" And I was like, "Okay, this is one of the thing I was just researching and I was just following through." So he said, "You should go for it." And another thing was because I was always into fitness. I love personally like yoga. I did kickboxing. I have a
Oh,
background in taekwondo as well, but with my
yeah.
knee and all, I had to stop.
Sure.
Um, so I wanted that for Ron. And I know physical fitness is such a big factor, but it is not available in this scenario. Many kids, they get physical therapy, but it is not same as physical fitness.
Sure.
So, and they are not interested to do as well. And I can understand because it feels like boring.
Mhm.
It's so the approach of autism fitness where it's the reinforcements are there, the choices are there, and the autonomy is there, where they can make some suggestions, make decisions, and all that stuff. I really like that concept. So
Mhm.
once I did pro, I was like, okay, I have to go for expert.
Mhm.
It does just make sense. And RBT was just in a line with that. So I saw it's what what works with Ron and what helped him. So I felt like as a parent, if I help him at home as well, so it will generalize.
Mhm.
So that's why I wanted to do RBT. And I felt like after becoming a professional, I could help him better. Like when he turned 13 and he started having some kind of tantrums and all. So I was well equipped with all those modalities of being an RBT, how to handle it professionally. So I felt like that helped. So it's just kind of a journey. And I feel like I was still in a role. Many people joke about it. Shruti, are you gonna start with another course soon or so? Not. So it's always a kind of a journey. Like I want to help him and I want to help other people and I want to help myself as well. So keep myself updated, know what is happening in this area and all. So yeah.
Yeah. There are two things in particular that that I noticed very early with you. Number one, you're very driven. Um,
Thank you.
and you follow through with things also. Which actually imparts on me too. There are things that I've followed through on because I'm like, oh yeah, Shruti reminded me that I need to do this. And the other thing is that you have a very analytical process. And I think that's really important, especially, as a parent, because you have so many different pieces, I say pieces of, but different information, different potential, not only therapeutic and educational and, avocational interventions, but then being able to filter out a program for what it offers and also how it's run. Like, tell me a little bit about just your own process when you see a program, I'm not even talking about fitness right now, but how do you, what's your process for evaluating, both as a, really as a parent too, when someone suggests, oh, here's this program and you look at it, what are the things that you're looking for, whether you're looking on their, Instagram or their website or you're asking questions?
So again, it comes to the research.
Mhm.
Like I do a lot of research. So research in the sense, not just Google.
Yeah.
I have my friends, like being in this journey for 10 plus years, I have many friends in almost all the areas, I will say. So
Mhm.
even if I have not heard something, I will have a friend who will tell me about something. And I will
Yeah.
say, okay, this sounds interesting. What do
Mhm.
you know about it? And
Mhm.
then we will have a call, we'll talk about it, and they will suggest, like, okay, this person is a professional in it. Would you like to talk to them? I'm like, yeah, let's just go over there. And going through that journey and just figuring out, and then I have to figure out what works for us. Like
Mhm.
there are so many modalities, but not everything will work for him.
Sure.
Like for the physical fitness part, I am still figuring out how to accommodate in all that because he doesn't want to do it. But
Yeah.
just setting up the environment and taking those small gains, then he comes to do the fitness training with me. So I'm like, okay, happy. Even for one day in a week, I'm happy. But yeah, so we need to figure out that as well, like what works with him. And yeah, so that is a bigger picture. Like
Mhm.
what works for me and what works for him and what works as a family.
Mhm.
And
And
if it is helpful for someone else, then of course I'm just passing
yeah.
down information for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like that too. So you have a network of people who have expertise or experience in different areas. So you can kind of toss an idea or a question to them and say, okay, what do you make of,
Yeah.
explain this to me from someone who knows this stuff because expertise is typically relegated to a particular area. That's what it is. You can only spend so much time and effort and education in one or, maybe two particular things most of the time. So everything else, you have to rely on people who know
Yeah.
what they're talking about, but you're talking about few and far between, often. So it's great to be able to surround yourself with people who actually know what they're talking about and can make sense of things that may seem promising, but everything can look good on a website, everything
Yeah.
can look good on social media. But when you get into it, actually, you're like, oh, does this person just have a good graphic designer and web designer and
Yeah.
good ad copy? Or, is this something that actually shows is there evidence
Yeah.
for this, regardless of what you're talking about, whether it's, a therapeutic intervention or a program? How long do you usually, with respect to that, how long do you usually give a a program or some type of new thing that you're introducing, um, either for Ron or one of your athletes or even other families that you've worked with? Because from what I know of Ron also, it seems like his kind of standard operating procedure is as soon as something feels obligatory, then he's out. So
Yeah,
he has to feel like nothing is at any time being put upon him as a demand,
yeah,
and then he's cool with it. But as soon as it's okay, we're going to put structure to this and first this, then he's out because then he feels put upon.
yeah. So this is case with most of the kids I have met,
Mhm,
especially with my friends' kids.
mhm,
So that was a funny incident. One of my friend, they asked their kid used to come to my house all the time. So
mhm.
one day they said, "Today we will bring him, but you do an evaluation with him."
Okay.
As soon as I took him in the garage and I started doing evaluation, he was crying in big tears, like, "What? I'm supposed to have fun here. Why are you putting me through this?" I'm like, "Okay, it's not gonna work."
Yes.
So it had to be, and with Ron as well. So what I do, like if we have to do farmer's work, he's not gonna do in the garage. So I take him out for grocery shopping. He loves
Right.
grocery shopping.
Right.
So he likes all those. So he carries out grocery. I don't pick groceries. I will ask him to carry groceries. He will carry and he put it in the garage, in the
Mhm,
car trunk. So similar things like in the house, if I ask him to help me with something, like taking something from downstairs to upstairs, he will gladly oblige. But if
mhm,
I say, let's do exercise, he's not gonna do it. So kind of like putting it in the household chores and making it fun.
mhm,
That's my goal is. So even with the athletes who come here, I don't put a demand. I'm like
mhm.
always like, what do you want to do? How do you want to do
Yeah.
it? And they like that autonomy and
Mhm,
they want to have fun.
mhm.
And that's what it is. Like even for us adults, if we don't like to do something and we have to do it all the time, every time,
Yeah.
there's no reinforcement in it. So
Right.
it has to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, or the reinforcement is secondary, and then
Yeah.
you have to wait it out, and that's resilience or delayed reinforcement is
Yeah.
a thing because you're working now, or you're uncomfortable now, or you're doing something that's not your favorite right now because you know that there's going to be a result. But you and I have had numerous conversations about building in that meaningfulness for our athletes because that factor of fun is not always easy. And I'm curious what your experience is with this also. When we say fun, going back to, evidence, uh, defining that and defining it a little bit differently, like fun for a 7-year-old is
Hmm.
probably going to be a little different than fun for a 17-year-old or a
Oh yeah.
13-year-old also, especially in, bringing it back to the context of fitness. So that I think that idea of fun it's important and it's all oftentimes being used as a not a placeholder, but it's inferred.
Hmm.
Like, oh yeah, I know what you mean by fun, but do you really know what we mean by fun and how are we using it in a fitness context?
Sure. So like as you said, for a 17 years old, I work with a couple of 14, 15 years old. And with teenagers, you cannot just talk like all the time. They don't like it.
Mhm.
So talk has to be meaningful.
Yeah.
So getting that trust and building the trust with them, it's also a very hard thing.
Hmm.
So now I have a teenager who talks about his crush with me. He is too much
Nice.
comfortable. He talks about his crush and he was telling all his plans about 14th February. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But we are still doing exercise. It's
Sure.
not like we are going away from there. So he's
Yeah.
doing exercise and that is fun for him. Like he can
Mhm.
talk to me and he can still work out. He can make it. So building that trust and having that connection is far important. And then there is this another girl who comes. Whenever she comes, I know that she doesn't get good sleep sometimes. So always ask about like, how did you sleep?
Yeah.
How do you feel? How is your back?
Mhm.
So that is the connection with her. She doesn't talk much, but she likes to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for that aspect, so every athlete, I treat them like how they're an individual person and
Yeah.
talking about their that particular point of time, what they are feeling. And also reading the room, like if she's not in the mood to talk at all, I will not talk. I will just
Mhm.
say whatever the reps she has to do and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to get on kind of seasonal themes, or there's a theme that I'll lock onto for a little while. And the big one for me over the past couple weeks has been trust.
Mm.
So much of what we do needs to have a foundation of trust with our athletes, especially when you're talking about like a 14, 15, 17-year-old. If they don't trust you, like that athlete trusts you enough to talk about his Valentine's Day plans, and you have another athlete, when you have trust, then you have the capability to coach and to take that athlete out of their comfort zone in a way where they are still comfortable because they trust your judgment, whether they say that outright, which is never, but implicitly also a 14-year-old that's going to open up to you. And look, that 14-year-old may talk a lot to everybody, but when he can dial in and actually have a conversation with you, I think because I've seen this happen, there's just kind of a, oh, okay, I'm good. Like you see like that not even facade, but you see them give a little bit because they're like, all right, I can kind of chill out. And sometimes, for some athletes, and I've met Ron, even when they're calm, they're going to be kind of bouncy
Yeah.
and they're going to self-regulate, but at the same time, okay, they're good right now.
Mm. Yeah. So another athlete, he has stimming, like he stims. So
Mhm.
it's kind of his, it's also a functional thing. Like I cannot ask him to now stop streaming and do this. It's part
Yeah.
of who he is and what he does. And he's totally regulated. He just
Mhm.
takes break for stimming.
Yeah.
So I never disturb him. I never ask him anything. And sometimes it's between exercises just to adjust himself. And sometimes he takes break and stems. And I'm like, okay, whenever you're ready, let me know. And he said, okay.
Yeah.
And we'll just sit there. So there was a time with him when he used to come and he was so like he did not know what to expect and all that. So he was like, never ask for a break. I'm like, do you want a break? Okay, yeah. Okay, you can always ask for a break. So it takes some time. He built that trust. Now he asks for breaks whenever he feels like he's getting overwhelmed or something. Can I take a break, please? I'm like, yeah, of course you can. And then he just sits there, gets calms down. So I feel like that's the connection with him.
Yeah.
And I just like it. And
Mm.
I don't want him to be anxious or do anything. So
Yeah.
his own
Because
time.
even down to the performance of the exercise is not going to be as good if you're interrupting an athlete when they are engaging in stereotypy or self-regulating. It's like give it the extra 5 or 10 or 15 seconds. Let them, you said it before, let them be ready. Like
Yeah.
once you're ready, great. And then planning the session around that also. Like when you're prioritizing the exercise session, looking at, all right, well, I know that this athlete has a tendency to get, a little dysregulated, so let me do 5 exercises instead of 6 exercises, or let me plan for 5, but if we get to 6, great.
Yeah. And he does all the exercise and he has time after that as well. So we are good. And I always appreciate him like you were doing so good. And he asked every now and then how I'm doing. Okay, you are doing fantastic. You did that rep
Yeah,
so good and kind of that. And it just boosts his motivation.
yeah.
So yeah, I
So
like
when
that.
he asks about that, I love getting into this. So when he asks about that, how am I doing? What level of specificity in the feedback are you giving him, and what's he looking for? And I'll just preface it with an example. I have one athlete who, and we joke about it, but I know it also irks him if I talk too much technical stuff. Like I'll say, "Hey, dude, that exercise is great for your upper back," and he's like, "No," and it's so I find it the funniest thing because one of his parents is also in the medical field, so he knows all about like surgery.
Okay.
I'm like, this is. He's like, "Don't tell me." He'll say to me, "Don't tell me," and I'm like, "All right, dude." So when I give him feedback, they're like, that was a great set of standing cable rows or that. So I'm always curious in the dialogue, to what extent does that athlete want to know and where are they like, okay, good. Like keep the technical jargon to yourself.
So I never go technical.
Yeah.
Always say, and I do it on me. I'm like, it's good for your back. It's good for your
Yeah.
leg. Kind
Yeah.
of like that, just to showcase him. And even if I have to correct the posture, I'm going, see if you lean like this, and
Right.
punching your back is hurting. So you have to be like this. I'm go.
Yeah.
And one of the athlete, he has back issues, so he understands. So he
Okay.
is always ready
Yeah.
for feedback. So I always tell him like your posture should be this way. You have to hold it this way, and he listens patiently.
Yeah.
The other athlete who I'm talking about, he when he came, he was not able to do overhead standing press, overhead sandbell press, and now
Ooh.
he does it really good. Like it's like day and night difference. So he is always curious about like how I'm doing right. Okay,
Mm.
that press was excellent. That was phenomenal. Sometimes I don't say anything because I don't want to break that rhythm. So I would just say the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like, yeah, good rep. Go ahead, go up, down. So he asked me. He is always ready for like, what is your feedback? Okay, yeah, that was amazing set. That
Yeah.
your rep was really good. Your presses were looking better and all that. So he says thank you after that, and we just move on.
So tell me about your process with that particular athlete. So he comes in and he has some type of either kyphosis or something's going on with his back. Was there a previous injury, or is this more of a structural issue, or is it just from not?
No, it's his diagnosis kind of thing. Like
Okay.
he is huge. So because he's 13 and he's
Okay.
6.2. So his
Wait,
back,
he's 13
yeah,
and he's 6'2"?
6.2, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that.
So his back has I had a conversation with his mom, and she said that because of that height, like he just shot up, his back gave up. So that's why he has a lot of back
Oh,
issues,
yeah.
and
Okay.
he has
Yeah.
little curvature and all that. So that's, and I have a picture of him last year. In fact, in March, we will complete 1 year of training.
Mhm.
So it is so different from the posture right now. He also modeled for one of the shows, as I told you earlier. Like
Okay.
he was
Yeah.
modeled for one of the inclusive show. So
Mhm.
he was very proud. He showed pictures, he shares videos, and he looks so confident.
Yeah.
And the best thing I like about it, when not the parents, but the athletes kind of tell about their experience and
Hmm.
tell like what difference they are observing. So I always kind of ask them instead of their parents, how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel after the session?
Yeah.
How is this whole thing making you feel?
Mhm.
So even there, one of the girl who is always complaining about the exercises, but after that I ask them, but how does it make you feel in general? No,
Yeah.
it makes me feel really good. I feel confident, I feel strong. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So she sometimes says that you are torturing me. I'm okay, I'm torturing you for your own
You're
good.
all good. Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, so I kind of like to ask athlete about it because
Mm.
they give the proper feedback, and they are teenagers, so they are like blunt. They will tell you
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah. But
So
that they'll tell you, and you take it at face value, and then some.
exactly.
See that's also, and it's oddly enough, it's one of my favorite age groups to work with are the teenagers because I like to test my own BS radar with them as well. And like, okay, you're articulating something to me right now, and it looks like you feel strongly about it, and I still don't know whether or not you're telling me the actual truth right
Yeah.
now. So there are layers to it as well. And sometimes, and I'm sure that, in fact, I think you and I have spoken about this a number of times, either with whether it's specific to Ron or other teenagers. It's like sometimes they're doing something and you're like, this is not even part of their diagnosis or they're neurodivergent. This is because they're 15 and they're
Right.
pulling this 15-year-old stuff too.
Yeah. True. True.
You know,
Yeah.
that
Ron
happens.
has a lot of that these days.
Uh-huh.
I had another parent who talked to me. I was one of the event promoting Able Fitness, and she came along and she was talking about how her son turned 13 and he's doing all this stuff. Okay, I always take it as in a good way. He's acting like a typical teenager.
Yeah.
So if he closes room If he doesn't want to listen to you, if he runs away when you are putting a
Yeah.
demand, that's all typical 13-year-old behavior. And I am glad that he's showing all those. That means he is just behaving what any teenager would do.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah, that is
absolutely.
a very good take home for this. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I've had a number of those conversations with parents over the years, like when I have an athlete, who's going into those adolescent or teen years, and they're like, oh, they got a little bit aggressive, and then they like slammed a door. I'm like, yep.
Typical.
Like, yeah, well, you're gonna probably have 2 or 3 years of this, and we want to monitor it and provide functional alternatives, but at
Mhm.
the same time, a little bit more testosterone in the system is
True.
gonna do some stuff for a little while too. And the other thing to be really mindful of is when our athletes are going through that as well. Like I've had a couple athletes in the last year who are going through these growth spurts, and I can always tell like I'm a literal low bar for that because I'm short. So as soon as they're taller than I am, I'm like, all right, well, great. But you have an athlete who comes in one week and they're like 3 inches taller than they were the last time. And oftentimes, and I'll talk with parents about this, they're going to lose some of their motor skills for a little while because they're reacclimating to a new body,
Right.
you know?
True.
I do want to go back to the conversation we were having earlier about this one particular athlete, your very tall 13-year-old. So he comes in, you assess him, and his overhead press is, if you were to describe it, functionally, like what were some of the deficits that you saw with that? And then what was your process for having him do it, independently or at least a lot better than he was doing it before?
He had a great motivation.
Mhm.
That's the first thing. Like he was
Yeah.
very motivated because he had severe back pain and all that issue. So he wanted to get rid of it.
Okay.
So, and the best thing is, while he's doing exercises, and he will say, I have to do better than yesterday. I have to do better than yesterday. I'm gonna be strong. I'm going, okay. I
Wow.
don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
You're doing it on your own. So he is already motivated and he wanted to do something for himself.
Okay.
And that was the like I will say I was just adding to it. I
Mhm.
did not have to set a program or something so dramatically. Like with other athletes, they were not motivated. They
Sure.
just came and like, okay, my parents told me to do this and I have to
Right.
do this. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
But he was motivated, and we had a pretty good bonding because I was in school and he was one of my students. So he knew
Okay.
me from earlier.
Yeah.
So it was a familiar something. And he used to talk to me at that time as well, like pretty frankly. But yeah, there was a break of 2, 3 years. So, and we started this March, and I will not say that his fitness was kind of zero, but it was not there. And
Sure.
it was a lot of hunch, and we worked a lot on his posture. That was my
Mhm.
first thing.
Okay.
So when we started working on posture, everything else started improving.
Mhm.
So yeah, now he's doing lat pull down. We moved on from overhead band rows,
Yeah.
high band pulls, and he's doing lat pull down. He's doing
Nice.
amazing with deadlifts.
Oh wow.
Started
Yeah.
doing
Oh, I
deadlifts.
saw that video the other day. Yeah.
That was the lady I'm talking about. She is
Okay.
always hot.
Nice.
Like I turned on the heater and she came and she said, "I want the fan." She was sweating. Okay, I'm not gonna stand beside you. It was so cold, and she asked for a fan. So yeah, she's my another one. But
Mhm.
yeah, this she progressed really well. Like within few months, she has progressed.
Mhm.
So we have started doing deadlifts, and she's doing really amazing with that.
You had talked a little bit earlier and mentioned, expectation management, which is another thing that we really hone in on because it's one thing to say, oh, we need to manage expectations, but then what does that actually look like? So in your conversations with other families, because you have these dual roles as, a leader and provider of their support network, and then as a coach
Mhm.
for many of their, kids, teens, and adults. what are the initial conversations that you have with parents when they bring, their kid or their teen in? What are they looking for? So what are their goals? And then how do you meet them in conversation with, okay, this is our plan, this is how we assess, and this is how we're going to go forward once I have, an idea of where we're at baseline wise.
So I have a very structured data, I will say, or some programs. So we do an evaluation,
Mhm,
exhaustive evaluation. Before that, I have a call with them. I will tell them what I'm gonna do, what are the exercises look like, what are the programs if they want to stay or they want to go. It's
mhm,
up to them, but the evaluation looks like, and then after doing an evaluation, I provide them with a plan, like
mhm,
how many sets, reps, what exercises, what he is right now, what we are gonna achieve, and all that, and kind of give a 3 months time.
mhm. Yeah.
But I say that it's not concrete. It will just depend on his or her performance. And I track data every single time. So like I have a
Mhm,
page and I have a system. So I will track all the exercises, how many prompts I'm giving.
mhm.
Does he? We don't count reinforcement because reinforcement is there to help and support them. It's
Sure.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, prompt fading, and then uh, how is the ROM, like range of motion? Is it
Yeah.
improving? And if I see that, yeah, range of motion is going up and prompts are going down, is it time to introduce new exercise or like to increase the sets or increase the reps or increase the weights or something like that? And we
Mhm,
keep on talking about it, like even before introducing something new, I'll talk to the athlete. I'll keep talking to the parents, like we will introduce something. It will be a
mhm.
little bit weight, it will be, and then for sure, all the athletes, no, no way.
Yeah.
No, you are ready for it. Don't worry. If you are not ready for it, I will not introduce anything.
Yeah.
So they always have a little bit hard time, but I feel like I'll not say hard time, but it's like just a teenager talking.
Yeah.
No, no. So like the last week, no, the girls who had this fan, and also I was talking to her, and she was pushing through everything. Like I added a little bit more weight because she progressed really good, and she was like, "Since you added a little bit more weight, can I do less reps for every exercise? Can I do more less reps?"
The
And she was making
negotiation.
faces. And I'm like, okay. So last at the end, I gave up. I'm go, okay, you can do 25 instead of 30. Is it okay? She said, okay. I go, okay.
Yeah.
25 is a good number. I don't want to reduce it to 10 or 15. She was asking for 10. I'm going, no, 10 is too low. Just
Yeah.
so we were negotiating back and forth. And at the end, I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
and her mom doesn't come for the session. She waits in the car, and then at the end we talk. And she was just behaving like any teenager would do. So I had to give in a little bit, and she was just smiling. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we have a progress report coming back to it, and after 3 months for one of my athlete, when I gave him the progress report, he was so happy because we tracked data, and
Mhm,
I detailed report of how much he has improved, what exercises he has improved, how many reduced prompts, and also he was really proud of his
mhm.
achievement, and seeing that proud feeling, it made me feel really good. And that's what we do. Like every time, every 3, 4 months, I gave this progress report, and I
Mhm.
track data. And I feel like parents have a concrete idea what their athletes are doing, what they're expecting, and uh, creating that safe environment. That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
And what's the feedback like that you get from parents? Because what you're doing is so comprehensive also, and but you're giving that's the perfect word for it. It's concrete. It's like here is the actual objective progress that this athlete has made with each exercise, with their volume, their sets, their repetitions, their weight, level of intensity, and the total amount we're getting done, and the quality of the movement too through that, you know, range of motion and motor control also. So I'm curious, what is the feedback from parents like the first time they see something like that? Because I'm sure you tell them about it up front, but when they're actually given this thing, what's that like for you? What's that like for them? Tell me a little bit about those situations.
Yeah, so I feel like I always tell my husband it's very hard to impress dads.
Mhm.
Moms are always impressed. They are always like, okay, yeah, he's doing good, amazing. And but dads, if you put that benchmark, like they are smiling and they are happy about it, so you feel like, okay, you have achieved something.
Mhm.
So good thing when I gave my first progress report, dad came in
Mhm.
and he saw it, and the whole time he was like, wow, look at this, how much you have improved. Look there, look at this. And he was just, I can feel like there was a twinkle in his eyes, like,
Mhm.
yeah, what he's doing is really, he's achieving something and he's doing something. And he always comes. Nowadays, it's always dad who comes. He talks to
Mhm.
me and he kind of reinforces him as well, like, okay, wow, this is really good for your back and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And the same with other people as well. Like all the dads have come and they have seen and they have approved. Oh, wow, the exercises are so good. Oh, yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
they want to know, like the person who is working with their uh, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, is that person capable enough to work
Mhm.
with them?
Yeah.
And to provide that proof in form of progress report or something like that, and just showing them like we are going to achieve something, that
Mhm.
just puts great amount of trust.
Yeah, because you're demonstrating two things. You know what you're doing, and you also know how to do it. Like you know how to execute it on it also, which is important. And honestly, I wish that were the bar, for I wish that were the bar to entry of, yeah, you can discuss the exercise science and the programming side of things, and also how to connect and develop, trust and communication with that athlete as well, because that's going to lead to better performance of the exercises
Yeah.
as well. It's so interesting that once you're giving, particularly dads, those metrics, then there's buy-in because I think oftentimes there is a sense of, guys will like, I know what I'm doing in the gym. Like there are very few guys who are going to walk into a gym and say, yeah, I have no idea what I'm
Yeah.
doing at all. They're going to pick something up and try something, which fine. But what you're doing is you're providing them with the language also and how to look at different things. Because when you walk into a gym, especially one that is well outfitted or well equipped, it's like there are so many things to choose from. So the first questions are usually, well, why not this and why not that? And what about this and what about that? But a good coach and a good programmer is able to filter out and say, we need to do this. It doesn't matter how many different machines are in the gym. It doesn't matter how, six cable systems. It doesn't matter how many different dumbbells. We need to accomplish these things. And so we use these as tools. So what it sounds like is you're just giving them more of the like lexicon and being able to just, by describing it to them, you're giving them context for what you're doing.
Yeah, true. That's true. And I, there's this family, sometimes the whole family comes and
Mhm.
they do exercise together. So there's little brother who comes and he also wants to work out. And the best part about is with my athlete, he's so focused right now. It doesn't even matter like who else is talking, who else is doing what. And
Mhm.
the other progress he's showing, he's going to YMC as well
Mhm.
and doing a group class of
Mhm.
gym and exercise, and he keeps telling his mom, oh, those are such easy exercises. So,
I
so I really am happy about it that he's achieving something with this program and he's generalizing it and he has that confidence. So
yeah,
that's what I always tell parents when they come for a call, like what to expect. Okay,
yeah,
independence and confidence. That is two guarantees I can give you.
yeah. Absolutely. And as a coach, I can also say that is the best feeling when an athlete goes, to another situation. They're like, this is easy, and you're like, yep, I did my job. I've had that.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a young lady who um I worked with her for like 10 years and starting when she was like maybe 11 or 12. And at one point, they were doing like PE class in school, and they gave her a ball. And I used to call her the Juggernaut. She would take like a 5 pound Dynamax ball and just chuck it like she was powerful. And so her mom was telling me this story. The teacher gave her a regular medicine ball and she chucked it at her, and the teacher freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God!" Like, and you're like, "Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're creating power. We're creating strength." So to have, I love that as such a clear indication that that athlete had that confidence to walk into another situation and be like, I get that this is like beneath my skill set. Because how often can those individuals or families say, like, my kid has this level of confidence with this particular thing?
True. Especially with in this field.
Hmm.
Like us parents, like being a parent, just leaving my kid to a group class all by himself,
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
sure.
So yeah. So I'm really happy for him and I'm really proud of him.
Mm, yeah.
He
So
has
tell me a
been.
little bit about going from the expectation management to building confidence in your own experience in your program. Have there been times where you've been surprised by something that's happening, during the session, whether it's something, oh, I didn't know they could do that, or something, shifts, and then you have to make sense of it?
Uh, I'll say with the lat pull down, like first time, I just wanted to see how much this athlete can really pull down, and I said, okay, this is the first time. If you feel like it's too much, just let me know. So I gave him 20 pounds, and he
Okay.
has never worked with 20 pounds, and he
Mhm.
was like, okay, this is nothing. I'm like, wow. So that gave me confidence to try new exercises with him. And that gave me confidence to see, okay, I think he's ready for deadlift as well because he
Yeah.
just showed that shift. So that was a aha moment, or I will say that was a game changer for him. And now I'm like, okay, we can introduce new exercises. And I feel like that is after that he has joined the YMCA, and that's why he's saying that all those exercises
Mhm.
are nothing compared to what we are doing here. So yeah.
When you're evaluating, because you're working with a number of athletes in a pretty diverse range of ages and capabilities now, if you think about your last, two or three athletes who have come into the program, how do you find, as far as, you watch them doing the first couple of exercises, how long do you think it takes you to form a pretty good idea of what they're going to be capable of, at least in the first, let's say, 5 or 6 sessions? Do you find that it's pretty quickly, or do you find that it's a like more medium or long-term process?
What I do is I do an onboarding
Mhm.
form. So I ask parents detailed question about athlete, like if the athlete has any physical problems or physical issues or anything else like that, and kind of and if the athlete is verbal, kind of talk to them. Have you done this exercise? Have you seen anything like this before? And all that conversation. And build. I have seen even the athletes who have never done an exercise, and after 2, 3 times, it's more kind of like whether I want to do this or not.
Yeah. Hmm.
If they are not ready to do, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But if the athlete is ready to do, they will surprise you.
Hmm.
Like they are so much capable of what we cannot even comprehend.
Yeah.
So that is the factor. So that's why I'm saying again, building that trust and just telling them that it's a safe environment. Like I'm talking about my newest athlete when he came. After 1 or 2 sessions, he was like giving me hard time. He was having a hard time listening to any instructions.
Hmm.
So one day I was like, okay, let him do everything by himself. I'm not gonna correct him. But at the end, when he asked me, how did I do? So I told him, like, see, I'm here as a coach. And if you not let me correct you when you are doing something not what is supposed to be,
Yeah.
there's no use of me, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
understood, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going, no, 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 you don't have to say sorry. I'm just
Yeah.
explaining. So if you're doing a set particularly wrong, and if I don't correct it, then you are just doing it wrong, right? You are not gaining anything from it. And he kind of understood.
Yeah.
He understood what I was coming through. And then next session, he was like, okay, um, when I was correcting any mistake, and I was not like over the top. When he was doing something wrong, I was just doing it parallelly with him,
Mhm.
mirror prompting him, and kind of like, and he just okay.
Yeah.
He gained that trust immediately, and after one or two sessions, I was just amazed how much he improved himself. And I told his mom like that was amazing. That session was amazing. He just listened to every instruction I told him last time, and he did everything perfectly well. So, yeah.
And it's such a mature conversation to have with someone too. It's like you can do whatever you want here. You can do it on your own.
Yeah.
However, my role is a coach. This
Mhm.
is what I do. I'm here as a guide
Yeah.
for you. So you can do it, but if you want to do it right, then we've got to do this together. And that's, coming back to that concept and practice of trust. Like if you put trust in me to coach you, then you're going to have much better outcomes.
Yeah.
And with some athletes, you're going to be able to have that actual conversation. And with some athletes, it needs to be implied because they don't necessarily have the communication skills to convey that to you. So, and that's where we have to be really considerate and oftentimes delicate. But at the same time, it's that going back and forth between, autonomy and structure also.
Yeah. So I have this conversation all the time with my son. So he is pretty much nonverbal.
Mhm.
Like he has other modes of communication. So every time he gets mad about something or some like he can do it better than me or I don't have to explain it to him. So make him sit and I talk to him like how a 14-year-old should be taught. Not like a baby talk or kind of thing. And I just don't like when people do that with
Yeah.
these nonverbal kids. Like they just imagine that their brain is like that. And I feel like in my practice, first and foremost thing is presume competence.
Mhm.
So always believe that they have comprehension. They understand what they are doing, and you talk to them like how old they are
Yeah.
according to their age.
Do you still find that that is an issue in, among this population, whether it's families or that like that infantilized
Oh yeah.
is it still really prominent?
Yeah, I have seen it with the parents. I have seen it with friends. I have seen other things as well, like not taking consent of these kids. Like sometimes they want to hug you, sometimes they don't want to.
Yeah.
So even if any friend is coming, oh, give me a hug, give me a no. I always say, do you want to give me a hug?
Yeah.
I never say, give me a hug, give me a. We are placing a demand for something which is totally individualized thing. Like if
Sure.
they want to or they don't want to, take that consent.
Yeah.
If they are nonverbal, that doesn't mean just implies that, okay, I can hug them, I can do whatever I want to. So yeah, I
Mhm.
am a big believer of that. And I have said that very cool and gentle way in to many of my friends.
Do they recognize that for when you're having those conversations with your friends or with other parents, is it something like is it an immediate aha moment for like them like, oh yeah, we've been doing this, or do you get not necessarily pushback, but do you get do they not
No,
understand?
they do actually,
Yeah.
because I put this point,
Yeah.
like it's um, they should be treated like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So when I put that thing, it's simple. Like if you explain them in a proper way, they will understand. Like one other thing is behavior specific praise,
Mhm.
which I have imbibed in all my friends. Especially there was this thing, in fact, in my family as well, like always good job, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. Being an RBT and then being this autism fitness trainer, okay, good job for what? So
Yeah.
if the husband
Yeah.
goes, good job, I'm like, good job for what? And
Yeah,
then,
right.
good job, Ron, for doing this, this, this.
Yeah.
And the same conversation happened with when there were a bunch of friends sitting together and one of them complimented their kid or something like that. Good job. Okay, good job for what? And he was like, what? Then I explained, like, you just said good job, but good job for what?
Mhm.
How will the kid understand that good job? It's just a term for them because
Yeah.
all day long they just hear good job, good job, good job, good job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he understood, and the next day, uh, he was not even around me, and I heard him saying, "Good job for doing this, this." And I'm going, wow, that worked.
Yeah.
So,
Good job is the start of the sentence. It is not the sentence.
oh yeah. So yeah. So
I,
we try to teach each other these things, and they don't mind. Like many parents, many things
yeah,
I don't know, and they tell me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I can rephrase it, and I can say this way to my son, or I can uh, use this phrase, or I can use this. So we are always there to help each other out.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. My last question for you now, and this has flown by too. I just looked, we're almost at an hour. So when we talk in autism fitness about fitness being a life skill, obviously this is gaining traction, but you still don't see it implemented everywhere or given that level of prioritization or importance. From your background and experience as a parent, as an RBT, as a coach, what will it take on, you know, like on a small scale and then a larger scale for fitness to be really recognized and understood? Because we talk a lot about it, you know, as far as generalizing to these other life skills, but what is that light bulb moment for families where they really start to get, oh, this is something that is critically important?
So the thing with the physical fitness, especially for special needs or neurodivergent individuals, is the
Mhm.
problem is they have to go for so many therapies. They
Yeah,
have so less time to do any other thing.
yeah.
School, ABA, speech therapy, OT, PT. So all the parents, they put the preference or prioritization to all those therapies, and
Mm,
then any other thing comes later on. And then
yeah,
other thing is the next thing is they want socialization,
yeah.
providing that physical fitness one-on-one. They're like, oh, can you do a social skill kind of thing
Right.
where you
Yeah.
can do a group setting? So I feel it should start with the schools, and it
Mhm.
should start with the ABA as well. Like for Ron, one of the ABA goal is having that fitness. So
Mhm.
fitness regime, because he doesn't want to work out with me every day. We have
Yeah.
put few more 15, 20 minutes of that physical fitness exercises in this ABA setting so that
Mhm.
he's doing um, fitness every single day.
Mhm.
And I feel like that should be the goal,
Mhm.
because people don't understand, and they it just hit them when your kid is 17 or 18. Oh, he cannot move, he cannot sit, he cannot squat, but he
Yeah.
didn't do anything when he was 9, 10 year old. That's why
Right.
it's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I feel like it should be imbibed in the culture, in the school culture, in ABA culture, all that. Once it starts getting traction there, people will automatically understand that it is important, and not just speech, OT, and PT. Because brain also develops. There's research, like if you do physical fitness and all those exercises, your brain also kind of develops.
Yeah.
And it automatically helps with all like further development.
It's so interesting because what I hear you saying, and I don't know if I've ever thought about it in this particular way, but it seems like the fitness aspect or when it's being recognized is mostly reactionary
Hmm.
than it is proactive. And you're right, because I tend to get a lot of those families too. Like, oh, my kid is 17, 18, you know, 30, and I noticed
Hmm.
that they're having difficulty moving, or I just noticed that, you know, they're putting on weight or that they're having difficulty going up and down. Like, sure, now you've noticed, and I understand that, but I think that's a really rational way of looking at it is, early and often, and early intervention is probably one of the most prominent
Yeah,
keyword terms with respect to the autism population, but we don't, there's intervention and then there's proactivity.
yeah,
And because we are more on the proactivity side, especially if younger kids are getting occupational and physical therapy, then I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like we have to be focusing on the gap
hmm,
between aging out of those therapies if they're
yeah,
movement based, and then, okay, well, what are we doing in the interim before that kid gets to 16, 17, 18, and we just realize
yeah,
that they're not moving?
yeah. And the other thing is like when I started this program, I put it um, through my group and friends and support group and everywhere. And many people reach out to me and they were saying, it would be too intensive, right? Too intensive for my kid. And I couldn't understand what does too intensive means.
Mhm.
It's like strength training.
Yeah.
And they feel like their kids don't need strength. And I'm talking about 13, 14-year-old kids.
Mhm.
And they need strength.
Yeah.
They need strength to perform those activities so that when they're 17, 18. So parents should also understand that is the problem. Like if the parents are not active, that is
Yeah.
another drawback. Like if the
Yeah.
parents are not active, they are not into fitness, they don't take physical fitness for their kids and prioritization. So,
Yeah. And I think that comes back to what you mentioned earlier about it being a cultural thing too. We're not
mhm.
exactly the most active culture that has ever existed. And so you're going to have that um manifest in the prioritization. Not to say that these other things aren't important, but if you look, the issue, I think, is all of the research is there. All of the evidence is there. There is more research on the effectiveness and the importance of, in particular, strength training
Mhm.
for populations ranging from adolescents to geriatrics.
Right.
I think, it goes again with you can have all of the evidence on the planet. You have to have implementation for that evidence to do anything.
Yeah. And who is reading that evidence? That's
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, it's like you and I reading it. It's like,
exactly.
okay,
That's the problem.
yeah, I think, and that's where it has to get into like the zeitgeist of,
Mhm.
how do we make it accessible, and also how do we bridge that, not just the information gap, but the relevance gap. You can fire hose the information at people, but if you don't make it meaningful for them,
Yeah, true.
then it's never going to get through, and they're not going to have those moments where they're like, oh, this, until it's not too late, but later than we would have wanted. Like,
True.
you don't want someone at 75 or 80 years old being like, oh, I wish I had the muscle mass and the stamina
Mhm.
to be able to get up off the floor now. Like, then it's kind of too late.
Too late.
So this is what it's preparatory work. Shruti, thank you so much. You've covered, from your perspective in being, an expert as a parent, as a professional, and just serving so many families as, as someone who supports, and also someone who not just supports but elevates the capabilities of these athletes. You're someone who I'm really proud to have
Oh,
as part of
thank
the
you. Thank you. And
certifications.
I'm really grateful for you are in Charlotte.
Yeah,
I'm really grateful for. Yeah, and I'm so glad that I took that course and I will say it literally has changed my life. So thank you for that.
you're very welcome. Thank you. And if anybody out there wants to become an Autism Fitness certified pro and bring fitness to any corner of the world, autismfitness.com. Pro certification can be taken anywhere, even the twice a year where I stay up all night to teach for our partners in Singapore, doing another one April 24th. Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'll be well rested. Shruti, thank you again. Where can people, if they're interested in your training services, and also for families in the Charlotte and Fort Mill and metro area, where can they find your programs?
I have the website and I have my social media page, and it's called Abled Fitness, ABLED fitness.com.
Mhm.
So please check it out and yeah, just
We'll
let
put
me
the
know.
link there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shruti,
Thank you.
again. Appreciate it.